suspended. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
Appreciate that, Ian. Right, I could take it from here. People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, appreciative of all the support you give my channel, people, and I really appreciate what we've built on our platform, people. 6,000 odd on Twitch and counting, over the 50k barrier on YouTube. It can't be done without you lot. Hopefully 2023 we continue to make this progress, and I continue to have your support as usual. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course good night. Please make sure you're commenting either in the live chat or in the comment section. It boosts the YouTube algorithm, getting us out there, and it allows me a chance to see different talking points and trails of thoughts, man. Football is all a game of opinions. No one's right, no one's wrong, people. If you haven't turned on your notification, slap the subscribe button and hit the like button, then I don't know what you're doing. But enough rambling. I'm sure you see the title of the video. You know, over the last 24 hours, check out my other uploads as well, especially my transfer news playlist, people. But I'm sure you've all seen stuff come out in relation to Mudryk. We're once again being linked with Milinkovic Savic, Eric Garcia, actually. Not that we're going for Danilo, but he's been linked with Leeds and Nottingham Forest. So let's go over everything, people. Let me share my screen. First things first, if we look at what the gaffer said in the aftermath of our 3-0 victory against Oxford United, Arsenal 3, Oxford United 0, in case you didn't know. Again, I've done reviews on that. Check that out, people. When asked by ITV Sport, Mikel Arteta said, firstly, in relation to Joao Felix, who's more or less a Chelsea loanee now, and apparently we're going to look at that as well. He signed a new deal at Atletico. So on one hand, maybe Atletico are protecting their resale value, or maybe, you know, Chelsea, they were selling dreams. Chelsea bought one. He goes there for 4 months. You know, he signed a new deal. There's even rumors today that Simeone will leave at the end of the season. If they get a more attacking coach, Joao Felix might thrive, or, you know, he might get bought by Chelsea permanently or go elsewhere. Who knows? But Chelsea's victory is Arsenal, Man United's L, really, in where Joao Felix is concerned. For whatever reason, they didn't pursue the deals or get the deals for themselves done. My job is to make those players as good as I can. I will try to do that. And if we have any reinforcements, great. And then when asked about a striker, he said, the problem is we only have one. Take nothing away from what Eddie Nketiah is bringing to the table, people. Again, where is all of that? Big up Eddie Nketiah, because he's had 4 starts and he's got 4 goals, people. And it's about the performances as well. And he's going and bagging that, people. Arsenal also scored last night from 4 shots on target, and we got 3 goals, people. Eddie is now actually Arsenal's joint top goal scorer this season in all comps with 7, 2 ahead of Jesus. Now, Jesus, you know, can score a lot more, has the capacity to score a lot more for everything he brings to the table, as you guys know. But Eddie Nketiah, who respectfully to the guy is a valued member of the squad, is our second choice striker and has been doing the business. You know, he obviously has done the business in his Premier League starts and obviously where the FA Cup's concerned. But I'd say the best game for me with him is a game he actually could have scored and didn't score. If I remember correctly, he came off the bench and played 29, 30 minutes against Fulham at home. And, you know, as I always say, it's the coming from behinds against West Ham. It's how you deal with a late equaliser with Aston Villa, and obviously this Fulham game, as well as Brighton away, and I would say Leeds away, that are just as vital to Arsenal's season, whether we get the Champions League and beyond, as the beating Liverpool's, beating Spurs, beating Chelsea, and things like that against the top 6. But if I look at it on a cynical one, you know, as much as we're scoring goals and Odegaard is scoring, and the, you know, Martinelli and Saka going from strength to strength, Eddie Nketiah would still be warming the bench really if Jesus was fit, and that's testament to Eddie. But it shows you that while we're scoring goals and it's sunny, there might be rainy days ahead, because when you look through our squad, there isn't anyone with a strong catalogue of goals, and Eddie's basically hardly played in the Premier League apart from now. He's our joint top goal scorer in all comps. That tells you testament to Eddie and his chances, and he's backing up the manager's faith. But probably we could have some reinforcements. So shout out to Eddie Nketiah, people. Shout out to Fabio Vieira, who now has as many assists in all comps this season as Bruno Fernandes and James Maddison, people. Arsenal have won 20 games in all comps this season, hitting that total in just 25 games, people. You know, that's the fewest games they've needed to reach 20 wins in any season in their history. So hopefully it's a season to remember, and backed up either with the FA Cup, the Europa League, Champions League football, or maybe, you know, I don't check the league table, but based on reports, Arsenal are in the title challenge. And although City's a different beast and they will pip us to that, if there is a miracle to happen, if God is shining his light on us, would love it to be capped off with such people. But staying on task with this, yeah, like he said, you know, he's basically said we only have one. You know, the problem is we only have one, and to go for that many months until Gabby is back is not easy. But we have to get the most out of the players that we have at the moment, and if we can have some reinforcements, great. This is the first time he's direct, not really direct, but again, the manager's smart, For me, this is the first time in relation to Jesus we've got anything close to a diagnosis of when he's back. Many months, people. So that assumes January, February, March, probably comes back April, May, and it will be like a new signing and a breath of fresh air. But a lot of the season is going to be decided. As I said, the more you go on in the season, well, we've got City next in the FA Cup. If we are to get through, obviously the margins for error get less and less. Europa League, the business end of that is upon us very soon. Premier League, we've done well to get out of the Xmas period, New Year, to be in this position. Now we need to keep it up until April, and then in May it's just a final shootout. But there's going to be many twists and turns, bumps and bruises, and things can happen. But as I said, I think Arteta is probably frustrated at the lack of recruitments. I think, he's very specific when he always says, when asked on transfers, he always says what he'd like to have and things like that, but he firmly puts it to the feet of Edu and Co and says that's their job. And he's basically said it there. The problem is we only have one, and to go for that many months until Jesus is back is not easy. As I said, many months, we only have one. Does that mean he would like another winger so that he can flirt with Eddie Nketiah and potentially Martinelli up there? He has spoken again on Smith Rowe playing as a false nine. Or does that mean he would like two, whether that's a striker and a left winger? I don't know, people. And obviously you've got Balogun doing quite well in France, who's not going to be recalled. That's something to revisit in the summer. Eddie Nketiah has signed a new deal, is taking his opportunities, is a good rotation option. But I do think we need a stronger attackers. You've got Eddie Nketiah, between Eddie and, you would love Jesus, Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, all fit, to go with, even if Eddie keeps his spot in the team, Jesus would be on the bench, Smith Rowe and Nelson would probably be on the bench. You've got Fabio Vieira, we've got some better attacking players. We look good in terms of seeing out games, not necessarily chasing games or needing some fresh legs like shown with Newcastle. And if you don't know what I'm referring to in relation to seeing out games, obviously El Nene, Holding, Tierney, Tomiyasu, they haven't been regular starters. They normally come onto the pitch when Zinchenko and White look a bit leggy. Maybe Odegaard comes off, you bring off El Nene and just tighten up the ship. So I think Arteta has been very direct on such. Whether he's able to get anything is another thing. Once again, Milinkovic Savic talks won't go away, people. Arsenal talks for Milinkovic Savic take place. Another player who has been on their radar is Sergio Milinkovic Savic. As we know, he's regarded as one of the best or finest midfielders in Serie A. He's contracted until 2024, and he's been linked with a move away from the Stadio Olimpico for a number of years. Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, PSG, and Barcelona have all been linked with him. Milinkovic Savic has been mentioned as a target for Arsenal of late, with Arteta a confirmed admirer. Obviously, we've got Granit Xhaka and there's some geopolitical stuff, but who knows? According to this report over in Italy, talks over a move to Arsenal have taken place. They claim Edu has been in contact with his agent, Kesman, who's a former Chelsea striker. Once again, people, renewal talks in relation to his current employers, Lazio, are stalling. He's contracted until 2024. So that probably means in the summer, the Declan Rices, the Milinkovic Savic's, anyone contracted until 2024, James Maddison, these are things that clubs are going to have to make a decision on, people. Whether we actually have interest, whether because Arsenal need a midfielder, are always linked with him and his contract, I don't know. But I'm always pessimistic on things that link us with players over in Italy. We was taking around the houses for Xhaka's departure, Torreira's departure, Zinolio, Locatelli, Vlahovic, the list got Tammy Abraham, the list goes on and on and on, people. So yeah, man. Apparently, this article does say a January deal is out of the question. They reckon a summer switch to Arsenal looks on the cards, people. So we'll have to see. The president at Lazio said, I will not sell Milinkovic Savic. I'll offer him a renewal. I reiterate, he is now worth 120 million euros, which equates to around 105.6 million. And every month that passes, the price goes up. Milinkovic is not for sale. I turned down 140 million bid for him years ago. I asked Sergi what he wants to do, only in case we receive an important offer from a world-class club. Well, you're not gonna, you probably get half of that in the summer. So we'll have to see how that develops, people. But they are probably unlikely to sell him in January. So that means, summer moves on the card. Mudryk saga, people, it should be made into an all or nothing. We're gonna have to spend a good portion speaking about him. Arsenal make Mudryk transfer progress following fresh Shakhtar talks. Even apparently we're going as high as 100 million. Arsenal remain in talks, says Ryan Taylor of the Sport Express. Arsenal remain in talks with Shakhtar Donetsk over a deal for their top January transfer target, Mudryk, but a deal is now edging closer following positive discussions. Arsenal have made significant progress on a deal to sign Mudryk following fresh talks with Shakhtar, although the two clubs remain in negotiations and are still yet to agree on a fee. So again, no fees agreed, no medical can take place. We've got personal terms agreed. So have we really made progress? I mean, the devil's in the detail. I have to urge caution, but significant progress, and getting him tied down and actually on the bench for the North London derby is probably out of the question. But what do I know? I hope to be wrong. The exhausting saga now appears to be nearing a rewarding conclusion for sporting director Edu and Arteta after the stubborn Ukrainian giants finally began to soften their position on the sale for the first time by discussing the potential structure of a deal. And I mean, this kind of did come out after it emerged, you know, for a blow for Manchester United and Arsenal fans that Joao Felix is going to Chelsea on loan or in some capacity as they have a verbal agreement. So, you know, I don't know the credibility of this, people, but it is what it is. Smash the like button if you haven't. Arsenal had been left to lick their wounds after seeing their opening two bids worth 55 million and 62 million, including add-ons, rebuffed by Shakhtar. And there was a sense of frustration following the 0-0 draw with Newcastle last Tuesday, when the Gunners were desperately in need of a fresh injection of quality from the bench. As we know, Mikel Arteta has previously spoken on his desire to bring in recruitments and get deals done sooner rather than later, people. Pardon me, we'll have to see exactly how this concludes. Following a recent stalemate, there is now growing confidence that a deal for Mudryk could finally potentially be struck by the end of the week, as Arsenal press to find an agreement with Shakhtar. Fresh talks are already scheduled between club chiefs, having continually pointed both Arsenal and Chelsea towards their 85 million valuation. Shakhtar are now understood to be close to agreeing a final figure with the Gunners as talks over the payment structure of the transfer. Arsenal are keen to pad out a large percentage of the final fee with add-ons, which are expected to include both team-related, such as winning the Premier League, and performance-related bonuses. Although sources are refusing to comment on the numbers involved, Shakhtar continue to demand the majority of the money up front as the two parties seek to find a compromise in the coming days, people. After continually using Anthony and Jack Grealish's respective moves to Manchester United and Manchester City for 100 million and 86 million pounds as reference points, we could point towards Liverpool for Cody Gakpo. It appears Shakhtar are now aware that they risk pricing themselves out of their biggest ever payday and cash they desperately need. Mudryk has continued to flirt with a move to Arsenal on Instagram, making it clear he wishes to depart Shakhtar to pursue his Premier League dream in North London, which is slowly backing the selling club into a corner, people. In recent months, Arsenal's top January transfer target even publicly outed his current club over their sky-high asking price, claiming it would be hurtful to Shakhtar, denying him the chance to further his career. As we know, Mudryk has to still, he's obliged to still take part in Shakhtar's season. Apparently, Mudryk will be part of Shakhtar's squad that returns to the training field in Turkey this week as preparations begin for the Europa League knockout clash with Rennes next month, when the Ukrainian Premier League also restarts. Shakhtar have briefed that they are open to keeping the 22-year-old winger until the end of the season to maximize their chances of winning the title. But with Arsenal evidently determined to bring in attacking reinforcements this winter, the expectation that they could move on to other targets. Although Chelsea held face-to-face talks with the Shakhtar director of football in London last week, the Blues still only seem prepared to move for Mudryk if Arsenal failed to strike a deal after turning attention to Marcus Thuram. It is already abundantly clear that the Ukrainian international attacker wants to join Arsenal after already agreeing personal terms. Therefore, Chelsea are understandably reluctant to sanction a mega money deal for a player that would prefer to join a rival. The Blues will continue to monitor the situation, but it appears Mudryk's move to Arsenal is finally on the right track as negotiations continue. Chelsea have now moved quickly to agree a 6-month dry loan with Atletico for Joao Felix, who had also been of interest to both Arsenal and Manchester United. Arteta once again said when asked about Joao Felix, "My job is to make those, in brackets, Arsenal players as good as I can. We'll try to do that. And if we have reinforcements, great." So that tells you where the gaffer's at. Further confirming stuff, Shakhtar and Arsenal are closing in on an agreement for Mudryk, people. No less of that. Arsenal have taken a decisive advantage in the race to sign Mudryk. Shakhtar, the next is coveted winger. According to our information, the various parties are still discussing bonuses, but have almost agreed on the overall amount. This article went on to say, according to our information, the Ukrainian international left winger is slowly approaching Arsenal. It must be said that if the Blues have been involved in the fight for a few weeks, this big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo has never hidden his preference for the Gunners, as he explained. Bayern plays very well. As always, great football shown by Manchester City. But I really like the game of Arsenal. There's a talented coach, young, individually strong players who play good, modern football, people. And then the article went on to say, people, again, we've got here, we already know there's been a bit of loggerheads, but according to a source familiar with the matter, the various parties are still discussing bonuses, but have almost agreed on the overall amount of the transfer, the amount of which could be around 100 million euros, maybe total package, if they come close to a full agreement. Talks are in full swing and will continue throughout the week. With the Gunners, we seem confident about the favourable outcome of the case. One element also collaborates this thesis, namely the acceleration of Joao Felix foul, which has now become a priority in the eyes of Chelsea. Another declared suitor of Mudryk, who is clearly much less optimistic in the face of significant progress made by his rival. History in recent hours. Google Translate didn't really help us, but yeah. Romano has said Arsenal were offered the chance to sign Felix, but the priority has always been Mudryk. A deal is not yet at the final stages, as the two clubs still need to agree a fee, people, which is true. So we'll have to see how these things there develop, people. Once again, Arsenal made significant progress on a deal to sign Mudryk following fresh talks with Shakhtar on Monday, people. So we'll have to see, people. Arsenal remain in negotiations and are still yet to agree a fee, but the saga now appears to be nearing a conclusion, people. So that's the main thing. Shout out to Smith Rowe as well, who's also been speaking. Carrying on with this, two sources claim Arsenal close to agreeing deal for signing. Player agreed personal terms with the Gunners. So for further confirmation from various outlets, people, that we're moving closer. Allegedly, Sports Arena state the two clubs continue to negotiate the figures related to bonuses. Arsenal want at least 30% of the overall fee to be in bonuses, while Shakhtar don't want it to be more than 20%. With two sources insisting Arsenal and Shakhtar are close to agreeing a deal for Mudryk, it is likely the negotiations related to bonuses can be sorted out soon. Smash the like button, make sure you're subscribed, turn on your notifications, and make sure you're offering your opinions, people. Once again, the BBC has said Arsenal are in talks with Shakhtar Donetsk about the transfer for Mudryk, people. Once again, we've seen this bonus comment as well, so I'm not going to bore you. Once again, further articles on such, and we've already just said Mudryk is flying to Turkey to take part in Shakhtar's season restart plans, and that should, that's good for him. Stay fit, because we need you to be relatively fit. It's in your best interest, people, really and truly. Allegedly, Arsenal are monitoring Tossart developments amid Spurs' interest. There's also been reports Liverpool have passed up on the opportunity to sign him as well. Specifically, what has been said, people, led to believe Tottenham's interest in Tossart is genuine. No firm bids yet. Is under contract until 2024 after Brighton triggered a year's option, as revealed on TalkSport. Again, that means in the summer they're going to have to let go, or they're going to have the same saga next year that they're having this year. Last week, I'm told Arsenal are also monitoring developments. No interest from Graham Potter and Chelsea at this stage where Tossart is concerned. Apparently, according to Sport in Spain, Mikel Arteta wants to sign Eric Garcia for Arsenal, either on loan or on a permanent transfer. Apparently we've approached Pedro Porro, who's apparently of interest to Spurs. We've been linked with signing him and re-signing Marcus Edwards. Probably looks better in a back three, in my opinion, as a wing back, but he's a former City lad. City will be due any percentage of the fee because he did cross paths at them. Can play right back. While I think we're stuck there with Tomiyasu and Benjamin White, Tomiyasu, we don't know for his injuries. Ben White does look a bit leggy towards the end of the games. Now you're asking a lot of him to it's a physically demanding job at fullback, much less 90 minutes, much less to the end of the season. So depending on what we're doing with maybe young fullbacks and stuff, if Arsenal or specifically Arteta did want that, why not? I'm not sure on the credibility of this fella who has said that, people. So take everything with a pinch of salt. If you've still got small hopes of Arsenal, or if you're a United fan listening, or if you're a Chelsea fan, you're laughing, of somehow seeing a twist in the Joao Felix saga. Once again, Chelsea have reached a verbal agreement to sign Joao Felix on loan, people. As we've seen, they've agreed to pay £9.6 million, 11 million euros fee on his loan, people, which is below what the La Liga counterparts initially wanted. Apparently, Felix is attracted by their project, another attacking player that wants to stink up the place. So go and do what you need to do, Joao Felix. But that's the end of that. Once again, Chelsea look set to sign him in 16 million loan deal from Atletico, and they're still in talks about agreeing an option to buy. They're going to give a 10 million loan fee, and they're covering his wages, which equate to 270k a week. With 270k a week, so that's £6 million. It's not clear if Chelsea have agreed an option to buy on Joao Felix, who is valued at 88 million, people. So Chelsea have the money to go out and do that. Romano has said there's been a full verbal agreement reached. Once again, 11 million euros loan fee, 100% of his salary will be covered by Chelsea. Before leaving, Felix will extend his contract with Atletico by a year until 2027. Why is that? Is that to, if he does well at Chelsea, or, and if Chelsea or anyone else wants to buy him, they've got a stronger negotiating position. There's, as I said, there's also rumours Simeone is going to leave at the end of the season. Is that we tie down our asset, he plays well, and he comes back and he's like a new signing, a new lease of life under a new manager who should be slightly more attacking. Because I don't know Atletico's history, but the only time I've equated Atletico Madrid to the defensive stuff is more Simeone's blueprint. Some of their fans must want to see more expansive football. Not a single attacking player is set up there to thrive, excluding the occasional Luis Suarez when he went there at the end of his career. He's in Brazil now, and actually Costa and to a degree Griezmann. But for everyone, there's the Joao Felix, the Thomas Lemars, the Cunhas, the Rodrigo de Pauls, and there's probably a whole bunch of Jackson Martinez and a lot of others people. Not that I care about this with Chelsea now, but as you can see, the deal is closed. He's flying to London and he'll agree his thing. Romano has said Chelsea are now expected to close in on Felix deal in the next 24 to 48 hours as final details of the agreement with Atletico are being finalized. All parties are ready to prepare documents and get it signed. The full package, once again, is around 11 million euros, and his salary will be covered in full by Chelsea people. So make of that what you will. Once again, Felix has agreed to extend his contract with Atletico until 2027. He agreed to extend in exchange for being loaned to Chelsea without a purchase option, says these lot people. So we'll have to see. And actually, I don't know what this would mean, but this is because they want to reduce the players' autonomization fee. I don't know what that is, people. That's one for the finance dons, but yeah, man, it is what it is. The pay, who's linked with Arsenal, has also been linked with Atletico Madrid. Atletico still considers Joao Felix a strategic signing that can succeed at the club in the future, so nothing's ruled out him leaving permanently on loan or whatever, people, really and truly. Apparently, somebody has said Joao Felix's attitude and his skills have not been up to task, neither at Atletico nor in Portugal. Bring that. Now that you signed for them, man, there's got to be a reason, people. Apparently, Atletico Madrid, including the dressing room, believe that Joao Felix's departure is best for everyone. Of course, really, because it must be like a stain in the dressing room. If he's your boy, you like the manager, but them two don't see eye to eye. It must be quite awkward, people. I mean, Danilo, who seemed to be a shoo-in to join Arsenal, apparently Nottingham Forest. And actually, if you look at this, Leeds United people, as well as Monaco and Ajax, look to be bringing in Danilo. That's all right. Nottingham Forest, you take him. If you get relegated, we'll have him off you for a cut price. Really and truly, give you Brook Norton Coffee on loan. But yeah, apparently Forest are in talks to sign him over an £80 million move plus add-ons. And we still need to address centre mid. So maybe some Arsenal fans feel some sort of way. And we all knew this would be the month. Once again, further reports kind of saying he's gone. Apparently, Barcelona have decided to listen to offers for Ferran Torres, Fati, and Rafinha. So they've two of them in Rafinha, and Torres have definitely been linked with Arsenal. Fati as well. Fati's a quality player, man, but he's going to cost a lot. I'm sure, maybe Edu and Cole will get back in for Rafinha if the dream isn't happening. But 6 months into I guess, a 5-year deal at Barcelona, is it over yet? I don't know. So yeah, Fabrizio said on Felix, Chelsea will pay Atletico more than 10 million euros with salary covered in taxes. Man United and Arsenal both held talks with Mendes, but considered a loan move for Felix too expensive. Chelsea have acted fast after their recent injury problems, where obviously they've seen Sterling and Cole, be injured. Arse Blogger said, people, and again, he said, I've also been told that we might have sent an SMS. That might mean Sergio Milinkovic Savic. No, I'm playing. I've also been told that we might have sent an SMS or two when it comes to central midfield area. No guarantees there. But let's see what happens as the month progresses. And the quicker you confirm Mudryk, the quicker we might be able to do something. Once again, Balogun, through his loan spell, is doing quite well. Yesterday, it was AC Milan. Today, Inter Milan have allegedly been linked with him and have joined the race to sign him, people. The Gunners value him at £34 million, 40 million euros, in which at 21, 22 years of age, he's still young as a striker. He might get even better. But if I'd understand giving him an opportunity in the first team. I'd actually understand selling him at the first arcs. And I'd understand loaning him back out maybe in the next 12 months, giving him a new deal, protecting our resale value, and then loaning him out. Because if you can get 40 million for a player that is in the first team but's not, reinvest that into other areas, whether that's another striker, another winger, a top class player in whatever position, then you're kind of laughing, people. But it's testament to Balogun. He's doing quite well at Reims, and you're getting, Italian giants involved in you. And I mean, if Inter and AC, could spark a bidding war, that's great for Arsenal. Normally, we're the ones involved in trying to sign a player in the bidding war. So if that could happen, why not? Let's see what goal.com is saying, people. Arsenal make contact with Eden Hazard. Arsenal have inquired to Real Madrid regarding a move for outcast Eden Hazard this winter. Not too sure if that makes sense, people. We've also been interested in Barcelona left back Balde, who contract expires in 2024. Barcelona want him to renew a new deal, so look at that with a pinch of salt. Mudryk's deal to Arsenal almost closed with just bonus negotiations pending. This says Vlahovic prefers a move to England. That boat is probably sailed. Arsenal among the front runners to confirm the free signing of Eintracht Frankfurt and France youth international Ivan Ndiko, who we've seen for a while. Once again, we've made contact with Milinkovic Savic's agent. Aston Villa were linked with El Nene a couple of days ago, and allegedly we're monitoring Tammy Abraham, people. So is what it is. I mean, apparently Makoko, who's going to be a free agent and has been linked with Chelsea, is holding talks with Newcastle. Newcastle getting all the football manager wonder kids in Isaac and Makoko. I mean, Arsenal, that's someone we should get, really. You know, it'd be bad news for Balogun and Eddie and Nketiah, but if you could get him, bring that, man, really and truly. So, yeah, shout out to Eddie and Nketiah off topic. Arteta said, obviously, he's been waiting for this moment. He's been patient when he needed to be, but as well, he's been with the right mindset and preparing himself for this moment. That's why I think he looks ready and why he's performing the way he is. He showed great composure. He's a great finisher. The timing of his runs and the decision-making in waiting until the last minute when the keeper was committed showed his quality. Some good finish. Well, 2 good finishes yesterday. His understanding his work rate, I think he's getting better and better. Amen. Mikel Arteta went on to say, the problem is that we only have one striker, and to cope for many months until Gabby is back is not easy, but we have to get the most out of the players that we have at the moment. If we can have some reinforcements, great. I mean, and he also said Saka is fine despite limping off. I'm sure we all got scared. We lost control of the game in the central part of the second half. From my point of view, the players did the club proud. We fought in all areas. They didn't look like a team so far apart to the other team. We have good players. It is the first time I've had probably my strongest team to compete. We have a good squad, a good team, one that is full of energy and exciting to watch, said the gaffer, people, which again, read into that what you want. El Nene, big him up. You know, he's spoken as well. I'm not going to read all of that, but it's nice to see the Egyptian lad score for us. Mikel Arteta spoke in relation to after the game, and I just want to focus on Fabio Vieira, what we've spoken about Saka and Eddie. And he's spoken about the depth. But on Fabio Vieira, who, if we don't bring in attackers or just in general, you want to see him get more of an opportunity and show Arteta that he's deserving of much and show his quality that got him bought for 20, 30 million euros. I was really happy. Obviously, he contributed in a big way to win the game. That's his quality, to create goals, to decide games in the final third. And he had 2 really good moments that helped us win the game. And Arteta did talk him up before the game. Because of the way the game was in the first half, he was man-marked all the time and he didn't have a lot of space. And neither did any of our, we didn't have a midfield. They were very compact, Oxford. So naturally, Fabio Vieira, Saka, Fabio Vieira is picking it up in areas that Thomas Partey would. Saka's basically receiving it like he's playing right wing back. Obviously, Martinelli having to do the same as well. And Eddie Nketiah, I know he scored 2 goals, but couldn't have a sniff, really. Your attacking players are your final third players, better yet, are always going to be out the game when your midfield isn't quite there. On Nene, that's not really a skill set. Tomiyasu and him, good players, but they're quite conservative in that regards. Holding ain't really got that pass. We're just booting it into the channels. Martinelli and Tini look the outlet at times. So naturally, and Lokonga's hiding a bit. So we're not really going to get our final third players into it. And no coincidence, Granit Xhaka's come on the field. We scored 3 goals. And he was involved in at least one of them. He won the ball back. That's that really and truly. The game became really direct and clear for him, but the moment that we started to do things better, he found more space, and that's his game. Amen. We've seen the comments really about getting the most out of reinforcements, people. He spoke on Smith Rowe, happy to have him back. Thought he scored. It's good. It's been 4 months since he played, so I think it was a really perfect game to give him some minutes to get off the blocks. Now he needs to start to get available and start to play at the highest level because we're going to need him. Amen, Gaffer, really. And I think Smith Rowe gave some comments as well in relation to his injury. He said, we are going to train really hard and we'll use this energy how we felt last year going into the game. I think it would be massive for us to get a result at Tottenham. I think it couldn't come at a better time. Amen. Even though form to a degree goes out the window. We are feeling really good at the moment. All the boys know what it means to play in these kind of games. He then said, a lot of people might not know, but I've had this injury since I was 18, 19. It was the exact same pain from back then, which has been quite hard to manage. It's been quite hard to deal with over the years, but I'm really happy that it's just finally over. It was really tough, but the whole team was around me. The manager really helped me. And obviously, I had my family back home supporting me. I was pretty much with the squad from the start, to be honest, after surgery. I was in all the meetings and stuff, trying to keep up with the knowledge and learning every day what he, in brackets, obviously Arteta, was trying to apply in training. I've been itching to get out there and play with the boys. I hope I can make an impact, and I hope we can have a great rest of the season. Big up, Emil Smith Rowe. We're going to need you back as soon as possible, really and truly. Is there any other talking points and news and things? As we said, we saw that with Smith Rowe. Shout Zinchenko, who also equally gave us another dimension as well, people. Really shout out former Gooner Marcus McGann, who played against us as well, really and truly. So yeah, man, it doesn't seem you know, it seems like we could get, you know, it says here, Arsenal made significant progress on a deal to sign Mudryk following fresh talks with Shakhtar Donetsk on Monday, which was yesterday. There's now growing confidence that a deal for Mudryk could potentially be struck by the end of the week, people. So we'll have to see. The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. So yeah, we've been here for just short of half an hour, people. Appreciative to all of you that have tuned in. Please make sure you're commenting, you're liking, you're subscribing, you're turning on your notifications, you're following on all the socials, Deluded Gooner 04 on everything, Snapchat Gooner 04. Make sure you're following on Twitch. Make sure you're staying blessed. Make sure you're staying safe. Check out the other videos I've done. And yeah, I'll see you lot soon, people. And I'm sure throughout the course of this video, to the left or right of whatever screen you're watching, you've seen little information boxes pop up. That's to point you to other videos. In fact, when this video is finished, it will point you to other ones. So go and do up them ones as well. Most importantly, stay blessed, stay safe. Thank you for supporting. I'm out. God bless you all.
There's always just that active and defending. I think it's like